That evening, Juliana returned home very late from work, exhausted after a long day. To make matters worse, the nanny of her children was waiting anxiously for her with urgent news about them. Juliana walked through the door, her face clearly showing the fatigue and stress of the day. She dropped her briefcase in the hallway, hastily kicked off her shoes, as if by doing so, she could leave all the troubles of work behind. Collapsing onto the couch, she sighed deeply, signaling her desperate need for rest at home. Her moment of relaxation was abruptly interrupted by the untimely voice of the nanny. Juliana looked up in surprise to see the nanny's serious expression. "What happened? Why do you look like that?" she asked, rising from the comfort of the sofa and approaching the nanny with concern. "I have to tell you about something very delicate that happened today," the nanny said in a low, trembling voice. She glanced around to ensure there was no one else in the room. A shiver ran down Juliana's spine as a sense of unease gripped her heart. The nanny's revelation promised to disrupt the peace she had longed for. She prepared herself to listen attentively as the nanny explained the boy's incident in detail. Her eyes widened, her expression tense, trying to process what she was hearing. "Bella has been exemplary in her job as a nanny, and her sister has no complaints either, but of course, I know what I saw." The nanny continued earnestly. "You know I wouldn't lie about something like this," she added, a hint of frustration creeping into her voice as she sensed Juliana's doubt. Juliana is the mother of the adorable 12-year-old twin sisters, Francisco and Karen, who share a special bond characterized by their insatiable curiosity and endless thirst for knowledge. After speaking with Bella, Juliana decided to take some time to relax and recharge before facing her children. That evening, Bella informed her that while preparing lunch downstairs, she heard a moan from Karen's room upstairs. Quickly going upstairs to the little girl's room, she found her brother beside her. Juliana hugged them both tenderly, overwhelmed by the love surrounding her. Almost forgetting what Bella had just told her sister, she separated from them, cleared her throat, and with a serious expression said, "Kids, I need to tell you something. Your Aunt Bella told me something, and it's serious." "It's not true, Mom," Francisco said confidently, which puzzled Juliana. "Bella Aunt is lying," Karen asserted firmly, supporting her brother's statement. "They're definitely being completely honest with me," Juliana reminded them. "I can't tolerate lies, and it's especially important that you don't hide anything from me in this situation." Juliana watched her children with penetrating eyes, but surprisingly, they showed no signs of wavering. "Yes, Mom, we're telling the truth," they both affirmed. Indeed, Francisco and Karen responded in perfect synchrony, their gazes fixed firmly as they assured her that they hadn't done anything at all and that it was Nana who was lying. Meanwhile, Juliana was tormented by uncertainty, unsure whom to believe. How could it be that sweet and innocent Bella, who cared for them so lovingly, could invent something like this? Tired of talking and achieving nothing, she decided to end the conversation for their own good. "I hope you're telling me the truth," she warned them, "and I promise to put all my effort into investigating this matter. Rest assured, neither of you will fare well if I discover you've deceived me." Yet Juliana's heart was a minefield of doubts and distrust. Could she trust her children's words, or was it her sister who was truly weaving a devious trap? The question hung in the air, threatening to drown her in a sea of uncertainty. Juliana wrestled with a profoundly complicated dilemma. Should she keep silent in front of her husband? Uncertainty and anguish filled her heart as she pondered the best way to confront the situation. Finally, she concluded that she must closely monitor her children to uncover what was truly happening. Her determination was clear. She would not let her world crumble without first discovering who was telling the truth and who was callously spinning lies like a venomous spider. "I won't rest until I expose the person responsible for creating all this chaos." As the days passed, life continued as if nothing had happened. Curiously, Juliana's sister had not mentioned the earlier incident again. Perhaps Bella had misunderstood the situation. Karen and Francisco are so close, Juliana reassured herself. She put the uncomfortable incident behind her, but life can always take unexpected turns. One afternoon, while busy cleaning Francisco's room, something happened that left her completely bewildered. Suddenly, she stumbled upon something that deeply disturbed her. Francisco, come here immediately." The house, creating an atmosphere filled with deafening hysteria. "What does this mean?" she asks as soon as she sees him peeking through the door. The boy, who comes running upon hearing his mother's screams, is left perplexed at what she's showing him. Juliana has found a piece of Karen's underwear in one of Francisco's dresser drawers. Juliana demands an explanation of how that item ended up there. However, he replies that he has no idea how it could have gotten into his drawer. Despite this, his mother insists on getting a more precise answer to what the boy says. "Maybe Nana put it there by mistake when she was sorting our clothes." Now Juliana's concern intensifies even more. What she previously believed to be a simple misunderstanding was now hitting her again without any compassion, and this time, it was stronger than before. Undoubtedly, something strange is happening here. Suspicions crowd her mind, intertwining with every thought and clouding her judgment. She doesn't know if she's trapped in a sophisticated web of lies or if all of this is simply a regrettable misunderstanding. My God. What is happening with my children, Juliana? She looks up at the sky from her balcony as she feels her heart sinking into the dark depths of an overwhelming ocean of tears. That afternoon, Juliana had to leave work early to come home and take care of her 2 children. Her dependable nanny had taken the day off, leaving the 2 little ones alone at home all day. As she opened the door, a deep silence pervaded every corner of the house, creating a palpable tension as if something ominous was about to unfold. Walking through the still living room, the air thickened with a mysterious atmosphere that piqued her curiosity. "Karen, Francisco," Juliana called out repeatedly to her children, her heart pounding as she received no response. Carefully, she searched through the kitchen, the yard, and even the garage, but found no trace of where the children might have gone. Convinced they must be upstairs, she tiptoed up, slipping off her shoes, and approached her youngest daughter's room. The door was slightly ajar, and with a mix of curiosity and apprehension, she gently pushed it open, only to be confronted with a shocking scene that froze her in place. Her face contorted in terror as she witnessed the unsettling sight. Francisco finally spoke in a trembling voice. "We didn't do anything, Mom. I swear to God, I told you." The children burst into heart-wrenching sobs, leaving both Juliana and her mother bewildered. Juliana told him everything. He was very angry with her 2 children, but ultimately, neither parent could blame them because the children continued to assure her of their innocence. Juliana found herself plunged into the abyss of doubt, the heavy burden of agony pressing on her heart. She suspected that behind the innocent faces of her beloved children lay a dark reality. Juliana's gaze was unfocused, her mind singularly focused on devising a plan to decipher the mystery surrounding her children's predicament. Suddenly, a plan took shape in her mind. "Bella should not come tomorrow to look after the children?" Bella asked with an inquiring look. She widened her eyes slightly, eyebrows raised, waiting for an answer. Juliana, naturally mysterious and reserved, looked away. She sighed deeply, finally responding in a dry tone. "I say this because I plan to leave the office early tomorrow. So it wouldn't make sense for you to come all this way for such a short time." And while she does this, she holds her breath, feeling intrigued and expectant, her eyes narrow in an attempt to decipher the enigma hidden behind her sister's words. "Whatever you say, boss," she finally said with a mocking tone in her voice, and left. Juliana's plan was to leave her children alone and return home from work very early. This way, she would take them by surprise and find out what they do in her absence. What she didn't imagine was that she would be the one surprised. The next day, the 2 little ones had been alone all day. Juliana arrived home early and entered quietly. She went upstairs to her children's rooms and found them playing quietly without any problems. However, she discovered something completely unexpected. "Alex, what are you doing here so early?" To her surprise, she found her husband in the house when he was supposed to be working. "Well, Alex stuttered a bit. "I came to keep an eye on the kids," he finally responded, recovering from the surprise of seeing his wife and arriving earlier than usual. "And what are you doing here at this hour? You should be working," Juliana replied. "It seems we both had the same idea," he retorted reproachfully, noticing that his husband was startled to see her. "But you look like you've seen a ghost. You've gone pale, dear." "What are you saying, woman? It's just that I'm surprised because you didn't tell me you would come early," he replied quickly, without wasting time. He confessed that he had arrived early on purpose to surprise their children and see if they had done anything indecent. Juliana had been planning this and kept it secret even from her husband. She would tell him once her plan had seen results and she had gathered all the necessary information to resolve it. Juliana found that asking for permission at work to come home early was useless in solving the complex problem affecting her children. A bit frustrated, she headed to the kitchen to do her usual chores. "Oh, Alex," she sighed with a hint of annoyance, "now I'll have to come up with another plan." Back in her room, she watched her husband sleep peacefully, while her mind raced, trying to devise another idea to uncover what was really going on with their children. Look at him, sleeping without a care, she muttered to herself, a touch of anger in her voice. Suddenly, an idea crossed her mind and stirred her heart. Juliana realized that if she wanted to know the truth about her children, she would have to install hidden cameras in the house. If that's the solution, I can't keep asking for permission to come home early from work every time, she reasoned. The following night, while everyone slept, she set about installing the cameras. Her hands trembled with a whirlwind of emotions as she hurriedly unpacked the packages and meticulously planned every detail of her strategy. The room filled with an unsettling silence, interrupted only by her ragged breath. Juliana felt like she was entering dangerous territory. The end justifies the means, she thought, her eyes shining with a mix of curiosity and determination. Around her, time seemed to stand still as she read the instructions to set up the closed circuit. Finally, she installed the hidden cameras throughout the house with a sense of satisfaction. "Ready, no one will know they're here," she decided, keeping her plan a secret from her children, husband, and even her sister Bella, the nanny. "The game has begun," she whispered before going to bed. Juliana walked to her room in the darkness of the night. Each step toward the door felt like an invisible and overwhelming burden. The silence around her grew heavier as she mentally prepared herself for what she was about to uncover. The days passed monotonously as Juliana, with restless eyes, meticulously reviewed the endless videos. However, she found nothing amiss. Her expectant gaze searched for clues that would reveal what she feared finding. Yet, one by one, the recordings faded into apparent normality. Finally, in one of the videos, Juliana found something that caught her attention. As the room lit up with the pale and mysterious glow of the screen, disturbing and blurry images began to play. Juliana furrowed her brow as she watched, trying to discern the content. Suddenly, a chill ran down her spine as she finally saw with clarity what it was. "No," she gasped, bringing both hands to her mouth. A torrent of emotions flooded her being as she contemplated the shocking and terrifying images being projected before her disbelieving eyes. "I can't believe this." Tears of shock began to stream down her face as a mixture of horror and disgust invaded her inner self. Amidst the emotional chaos, her mind struggled to assimilate the dark truth hidden behind those disturbing recordings. After calming down somewhat, Juliana thought about all the possible actions she would take from that moment on. "It's better to wait until tomorrow to make any decisions," she reasoned. The night loomed over her like a shroud of uncertainty, feeding her anxiety and despair. Sitting on the living room couch, she wondered what dawn would bring, how she would face the consequences of the dark secrets she had uncovered tonight. The silence was only interrupted by the ticking of the clock on the wall, each second passing without her closing her eyes. Dawn timidly began to peek through the curtains, illuminating the room with a soft, gentle light. However, Juliana found no relief in this new day. She remained seated on the couch, motionless, her thoughts still trapped in uncertainty and insomnia. Bella entered the house humming a song as usual, her cheerful demeanor always present. However, something seemed to unsettle her as her eyes carefully scanned every corner of the room. Finally, her gaze settled on the couch, and what she saw there took her breath away. Her sister, Juliana, sat motionless on the couch, her face pale and eyes glassy. The room was enveloped in a disturbing silence, barely broken by Juliana's heavy, almost inaudible breathing. "What happened, sister? Why are you like this?" A chill ran down Bella's spine as she saw her in this state. A mix of alarm and confusion overtook her. Juliana remained silent. Her face bore the traces of a sleepless night, her hands tightly intertwined. Dark circles deepened on her pale face. revealing her lack of rest. Bella crouched down and gently took Juliana by the shoulders, shaking her delicately. "Sister, what's wrong? Tell me what happened. Where's Alex and the kids?" In response, Juliana let out a sinister laugh that sent shivers down her sister's spine. "For God's sake, Juliana, have you gone mad?" Bella backed away from her sister and ran off to find Alex. "Juliana, honey, what are you doing on the couch like this? You should be getting ready for work." Her husband descended from their room and observed her with concern. "I told you something was wrong with my sister," Bella exclaimed, almost on the verge of tears. "Come on, honey, get up, you're scaring me." As Juliana did not react, he grabbed her by the arms to lift her from the even. The cursor stops and a faint click begins as a mysterious recording finally appears on the screen. Seconds turning into eternal minutes as their hearts beat faster and faster and their faces pale. Reflecting their fear of the images that appear before them in the video, the two little ones mimicked the behavior they saw in their father and aunt, but it was clear from the video that they but nothing else. Juliana forgave her but never let her in the house again, despite the unpleasantness of the situation. Juliana was relieved to see that the children never acted otherwise than excessively and that they just played with whatever they saw their father and aunt doing. Just a few days after that incident, Juliana made a decision that would change her life forever. She was divorced from Alex and it was time to embark on a new adventure filled with joy, love and freedom. With a smile on her face and hope in her heart, she chose to live independently with her two adorable children, who are now a happy family of 3. After watching the story above, do you have any thoughts? Feel free to share your opinions in the comments section. If you enjoyed our video, please like, subscribe, and share our channel. That's all about today's stories. See you next time.